integrity of our current POTUS. So the next little tidbit we're going to share with you guys is about the MAGA Trump Brigade. The MAGA Trump Brigade.
What's that?
The MAGA Truck Brigade, if you will.
Oh,
So yesterday in Texas, the Biden campaign, the Democratic campaign for Biden and Harris, they were supposed to make a campaign stop in Texas. They're driving down the highway in Texas in a big bus, in a Biden-Harris bus. It is all of the wording, all of the signs are all over the bus. Next thing you know, on the highway, they are surrounded in cars in what we've been told were large SUVs and pickup trucks, all with Trump signs, all with MAGA signs, some with megaphones, screaming, surrounding the bus, trying to block it in on a highway. Very intimidating. Other motorists on the same highway started to call the police because it could have been a potential accident. It was not safe. I do think that one car was involved in a small fender bender as a result of this. And so now the FBI is launching an investigation to see if anyone needs to go to jail. Not only would this be, reckless driving, reckless behavior, but a host of other charges could come as a result of this. And so a lot of people in various cars took pictures or video of what happened on the highway in Texas. And our president, Donald J. Trump, he tweeted some of that footage with the caption, "I love Texas." I love Texas. My gents, how do you feel about that?
this is full circle to the
This is what he does.
shenanigans about what's going to happen after the election. He incites his voter base to just
Violent.
behave
Mhm.
in the poorest of fashion, and he supports it. He puts it up on a pedestal. Hey, look at what my people are doing. Hey, if you're for me, this is what you should be doing. There's no decorum left in the office of the president. It's shameful, and you need a changing of the guard. That kind of behavior makes me sick. I'm glad the FBI is investigating it, because if people were behaving in a manner that endangered others, they should be held to account.
Yeah.
And President Trump should have been asking his people to stand down so that the electoral process can continue unimpeded.
Yep.
That's what
Shame
a
on
leader
him.
does. That's what a
Yes.
leader does.
Yeah.
Neo?
I'm gonna just keep it quick because we're out of time. But yeah, I mean, this is what he does. He does this exact same thing, and this is exactly what he does. He incites his base to what they want to do, and so that's why we're dealing with what we're dealing with now. So this is exactly why he's got to go. But, all right, so let's move on. Let's move on to our
Yep. Vote or die.
Yep, we're gonna move on to our hot topics. So the way hot topics works, and that didn't work. All right.
Not like that.
There we go. It's working now. All right. So the way this works is one of our hosts will start us out and tell us if their topic is a truth, lie, or shenanigans. They'll tell you what's going on in the world, and then we'll talk about it until time is up. Our friend Genji will drop in, as he did earlier, and let us know when time is up. Then we'll stop and go to our live audience questions and comments online, and we'll talk about it for a little bit more. Just make sure you're talking to us as you have been. And then once we're done, we just go on to our next host. And I'm going to go ahead and start us off, and we're still talking Trump. All right, so for my topic, I want to take a look at how well Trump delivered on his campaign promises. Now we know he opened his campaign like this.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
Oh, game popped up. Let me get rid of that. Hold on. And of course, he decided that he was going to build a wall.
I will build a great, great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Mark my words.
Now, as we know, Mexico felt this way about it.
Not now, not ever.
México no pagará ningún muro.
I'm not going to pay for that wall.
All right, so I have some data here, but my question to you guys is simply, how well do you think Trump delivered on his campaign promises? Now, try to give a percentage of, promises made to promises kept, like 10%, 50, 90%. Just give me what you think he accomplished as far as accomplishing his promises. Lizzie?
Y'all remember Christopher Williams, his song Promises, Promises, They Don't Keep. Trump ain't kept the promise. What are you talking about?
So you're like 0%, no promises.
Zero.
Robbie, what do you think?
Well, I mean, he promised a great wall, and he's gotten sections of a pretty
not
good
just on the
wall.
wall, all of his promises. I'm talking about all the campaign promises. What percentage did he do?
He's percentage of the wall?
No, percentage of promises.
Well, he's definitely enacted some laws that have favored his friends, and those were promises that were made at the onset. And whether those were public or private promises, I'm willing to say that he's maintained 20%. He's maintained his promises to Vladimir Putin.
They've done that. So you said 8%. You're at 8%. I saw Thaxton say minus 2%.
Sure, I'll go with 8. Why not?
All right. So here's the actual numbers. So out of his, this is by PolitiFact, and out of the actual promises, he kept 24% of his promises, 25 total. He compromised on about 20%, and he broke almost 50%. There's 5% of stalled promises, and any zero in the works, actually. So, I mean, he did not keep his promises on about 50%. I just want to go, one of the big ones was repeal Obamacare, build a wall, of course, what we talked about. Now, he did suspend immigration from terror-prone places.
Certain terror-prone places. Saudi Arabia, they still killing people, still running around here.
Yeah.
And that's where he has a lot of money invested. So, yeah.
Yep. He cut taxes for everyone, right? So he cut taxes briefly for the middle class, but mostly for the upper class. And then, of course, lower the business tax rate. He definitely delivered on that. But if you look at his promises, right? Look at how horrible some of these promises are. Like dramatically scale back the EPA, open up libel laws, meaning defamation laws. So he can freely sue people who defame him. Declare China a currency manipulator. I mean, these are just terrible promises that he made. Appoint a special prosecutor to investigate Hillary Clinton, and still didn't deliver on his terrible promises. He was. And I do want to point out one last thing. They also kept up with.
It's like a video game.
They kept up with. This is what they did for Obama meter on his promises. So if you look here, we're looking at promises kept. It's in the blue, and it's about 50% there or so. So these are the actual numbers. PolitiFact shows that 48% of Obama's promises were kept, while another 28% were part of a compromise. He only broke 24%. So if anybody is comparing how well Trump did versus Obama, of course he had an extra term, but Obama did significantly better percentage-wise. So,
can I just point out very quickly, going back to his original declaration about Mexicans and the type of people that they're sending here, and he specifically pinpointed rapists. Lest we forget that this is a president who has numerous sexual assault allegations against him that are currently pending in a court of law, currently pending. Not only that, Don Jr., Donald Trump Jr., his son, Don Jr.'s current girlfriend, Kimberly Guilfoyle, I think that's how you pronounce her name.
Something like that.
She used to be a person on-air personality at Fox. It came out a couple of months ago that Fox paid $4 million to settle a harassment lawsuit against her.
Wow.
So it seems that these people, these bad people, aren't necessarily coming from Mexico. They're coming from the White House. They're coming from the Trump family. Grab him by the pussy. That was even before he got elected. He told you what he thought of women in this country. So don't put that on the Mexicans. Look in the mirror. Listen to Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror, Donald J. Man in the Mirror.
Yeah. Any last comments, Rob?
No. It's just, but that's it. I mean, it's just the type of person that he is. I know recently I saw a clip of him just hanging out with Epstein, and they're ogling the young girls that are dancing on the floor, and it's just like, he's such an unethical person. Just, yeah.
Yeah, my whole point was, if anybody tells you, any Trump person tries to tell you that Trump was a good president, delivered on his promises, did this, did that, let them know they're some liars. Because Trump didn't do squat.
Tell him to call Lizzie. I'll tell him.
29%. And I think they were being generous on that 29%, if I'm being honest. So, anyway. All right. So let's go to the comments online. Sorry. Friends with Epstein, just saying, Jose. All right. Ropka says, I'm safer with the Mexicans. That's funny. Jacqueline Robinson, did you notice how he and Melania will never have a How We Met segment? I think Epstein had something to do with that.
Catalog. I think I can find one of those catalogs. You know, we can bring that out. That's how they met, mail order. You know.
Jacqueline Robinson guessed at about 10% when you factor in the cruelty towards immigrants and South American and Muslims. Yeah, and that was the other point. It's like he made these promises and he did 29% of them, but they were horrible promises that he was delivering on. Horrible promises. Anyway, all right.